decades, anyone talking about UFOs risked ridicule. Pilots stayed silent. Military personnel whispered behind closed doors. Government officials denied everything. But now, congressional hearings are being broadcast live. Pentagon videos are being released to the public. Intelligence officers are testifying under oath that the United States may possess recovered craft, and possibly even non-human biologicals. Is this the greatest revolution in human history? A carefully controlled disclosure campaign? Or are we watching the modern version of a Cold War psychology warfare unfold in real time? Tonight, we examine the evidence, the whistleblowers, the contradictions, and the terrifying possibilities behind UAP disclosure with the Veritas Project. Hey everybody, welcome to the podcast, the Project Investigation Collaboration brought to you by the Veritas Project. And as always, we are here with our gracious host and looking spiffy today, founder of the Veritas Project, Robert Wiki Bob Curtis.
Hello.
And I'm lead investigator Todd Boyer. Welcome to the podcast, everybody.
Yeah, welcome in.
You know what? It's funny, Bob, because 2 weeks ago you were dressed nice and I was just kind of chilling.
Right.
And then last week I was dressed nice and you were kind of chilling. And here we are back to you dressed nice and I'm kind of chilling again.
Yeah.
So we've gone back and forth the last 3 weeks of who gets dressed up.
I have to go into work, so that's why I'm dressed up.
So how's the house going?
Good. We haven't done a whole lot. Angie's on vacation, and I hurt my back, so I've been laying low. Relaxing. Maxing and relaxing.
Right on. Well, Bob, how does it feel to be right again?
Right.
How many times have we done a podcast and then a month later, 3 months later, 6 months, a year later, what we talk about on the podcast, where at the time it's fringe, we are out there.
Oh, yeah.
And then all of a sudden, hey guys, what you talked about is true.
Yep.
So Bob messaged me on Wednesday and said, well, the next lump of government information just came out and we were right again.
Yeah.
So 2 years ago, we did a podcast on the 4 main types of aliens.
Yeah.
This week, the government came out and said, these are the 4 main types of aliens. Literally the 4 that we talked about 2 years ago.
Exactly the same 4.
Exactly the same 4.
I split it up into 5 because I consider the tall whites and the Nordics to be 2 different species of aliens, and the government lumps them together. But those are the 4. The mantis, the lizard people, the grays, and the tall whites are 4 different species of aliens that the government has interacted with. So for all the people who are like, it's so fringe, you're so stupid, the government admitted to it. The government admitted that they have either recovered or had interactions with 4 different species of aliens.
And what were you just telling me about the what TT's been doing to us this week?
Yeah, TikTok has actually been taking down our videos because it's misinformation.
Even though the government has come out this week and said, these are the types of aliens, all the shorts about the aliens that from that, because we brought that video out of the closet and dusted it off and made shorts and sent them out there, and TikTok's been pulling them down for misinformation. Even though the government this week straight up said, these are the types of aliens that are out there.
Yeah.
So,
aliens.
sorry TikTok, you're wrong.
Aliens don't exist. Unfortunately for you and your narrative, the government admitted that these are the 4 different species of aliens that they've had interactions with.
Right.
So, yeah.
So here we are again.
Unfortunately.
This is like the 3rd or 4th week in a row where something that we have done months ago. Yeah. Literally, we're like, well, we were right about that one. Well, we were right about that one.
I feel like, in my mind, the way I feel like is like we're standing all the way out on the edge, on the fringe of science, right? And then every couple months, a bunch of contractors come up and they paint a new line right in front of us. They're like, okay, this is the fringe now. Now you're inside. Well, we were out on the lunatic fringe, but now the fringe is past us, so we've been caught up to. You know, and it's an odd thing to keep being vindicated over and over and over again. The comment section, people come for our heads every week, like, "Oh, this is so stupid. There's no such thing as aliens. If they're anything, they're demons," and all this stupid stuff. And then the government comes out and says, "Yeah, there's aliens," and you're like, "Well, are you going to apologize?" No. So. We put together a list.
We just got restricted for 10 minutes. What's the restriction for? Hang on.
I don't care. TikTok.
Your live is not eligible for recommendation. What's the restriction?
We're talking about being banned.
Misinformation that may cause moderate harm. There you go, guys. Right there. TikTok is telling us. TikTok is telling us that we're doing misinformation, but we are legit. The government legitimately came out this week and said there are 4 types of aliens.
Yeah.
This is not misinformation.
Right.
Like all those documents that got declassified, that's what they said. Yeah. There's 4 types of aliens out there.
Yeah. Right. I love being bullied by a foreign algorithm. You know what I mean? Like I have the right, I have the freedom of speech. So if I want to talk about fringe topics, that's my right. If you don't like it, change the channel. If TikTok wants to take our stuff down, then take it down. Like, you don't push it out to anybody anyway. So what difference does it make?
Right. So here we are again, getting slapped on the wrist for.
That's funny that we were just talking about that.
We literally were just talking about it. So of course we got a 10-minute restriction.
I don't care, honestly.
Oh, well, it is what it is.
They don't pay anything anyway, so it doesn't matter.
We don't make anything off of this.
Right.
So, oh, man. So let's we'll brush over the UFOs or they officially replaced the term UFO with UAP.
Yeah.
So instead of unidentified flying object, it's now an unidentified anomalous phenomenon.
Yeah.
So, which covers a little bit more because you have the lights and all that kind of stuff. Yeah. And so it covers a little more territory when it's described in that manner. But so last week, and we kind of touched on this briefly, they came out and said, yep, here's UFOs, here's all the UFO shapes, which we covered in our UFO podcast 2 years ago.
Yeah, we did a different types of UFOs podcast years ago, where we talked about underwater UFOs, we talked about high-speed,
all the different shapes, the cigar, the sphere, the disc, everything.
Transdimensional UFOs.
We talked about velocity and what would happen if, like, an actual regular aircraft would change direction, accelerate at the things that would happen to people at those points. Yeah. And so here we are, right back to where we started.
Right. Only now we're on the other side of the fence.
Right. We're not fringe on this one anymore. And then, of course, TikTok thinks it's misinformation. So
yeah, good for them.
Cracks me up. So, obviously they got rid of it. And the reason why they rebranded all this is because, it allowed Congress and military agencies to discuss sightings more seriously. Yeah. It gave it a serious name. Yeah,
because the UFO moniker had been applied to so much over so many years that it became like a silly thing.
Right.
It was more of a comedic thing than it was a scientific designation.
So let's talk about the types of UFOs that the Pentagon videos have released.
Right.
Right. So they've shown us the gimbals that go fast in the Tic Tac. And these are 3 of the big ones that they see all the time. They released a lot of aerial footage from pilots and things like that. And pilots describe these things as like accelerating beyond what is humanly possible, making directional changes at 90 degrees at speed. Right. Things that would turn a human into mush, basically. Yeah. Because the G-forces would just be, and you'd be nothing.
The Tic Tac is famous for that, making 90-degree turns in the atmosphere, and then going underwater. Yeah. And traveling at Mach underwater.
And of course, skeptics are like, "Oh, this is just anomalies in your system and blah blah blah." So So David
Grusch.
David Grusch, I don't know, I can't read today. He claimed that the U.S. possessed recovered aircraft, right? And obviously we all know about this. And he testified under oath in 2023 that, yes, the government does own aircraft. Now, obviously you guys have all heard about Area 51. Now, I'm going to bring this in because I saw this morning. Area 51, right? We all know is where they keep all the alien aircraft. And we just talked about the disappearance of the 12 scientists.
Right.
And Bob and I think that they were taken by the government and they're working on something.
Right.
Area 51 recently had 17 earthquakes in a 24-hour period when there's no fault line around Area 51.
Yeah. Well, the Area 51 site is a big umbrella. There's the Skunk Works out there. There's different versions of Boeing out there. There's, Lockheed Martin. There's the S4 facility is where the UFOs are held. That's where they keep the Bob Lazar mentioned UFOs out there. And he's talked about the sports model and other monikers that they've tagged onto these over the years. But yeah, they're the whole proving grounds, the Groom Lake proving grounds is there's a lot of stuff out there, and it's not just recovered alien aircraft. It's
top secret weaponry, aircraft, all that stuff. It's where they. I guarantee that the ghost murmur. I guarantee it came out of there.
Yeah.
The ghost murmur that they used a month ago, about whatever it was. I guarantee that came out of there, came out of Skunk Works,
Yeah.
And my question is that part of alien technology that they're able to pick up a heartbeat from 40 miles away?
Yeah, right.
Did that come off of an alien aircraft? So if just that alone doesn't tell you that our government is hiding stuff from us, just the fact that we have the technology to pick up a heartbeat 40 miles away,
right.
It should tell you something. They're hiding stuff from us.
Yeah.
So, but now they're trying to release all this stuff. And it makes me wonder, and, Bob and I, we talk about this all the time. It's like, hey guys, look what we're showing you over here. Don't look that way. Look over here. Don't look over there. Look here. Here's the UFO stuff.
Right.
It's, what are they hiding? What are they tucking away right now?
In my opinion, the government keeps these little trump cards of things that they should have released years ago, and they keep them in their pocket. So then whenever something happens, they can, throw these things out to distract all of the, the Luddites in the world. They're like, oh, shiny. What is that over there?
Right.
Like the Epstein client list or whatever, they have something that they can throw out, and then everyone will immediately look the other direction,
right.
So.
And it's funny because even our research, because we do, AI research, whatever, our AI research literally says, congressional hearings on UAPs are no longer fringe events.
Yeah.
So we fell off the fringe again, Bob. We got to walk back out to the edge. So it's hilarious that, that they say that like these pilots need like a safe reporting system, so they're not going to think people are crazy,
right.
or, so, and then they're literally openly discussing non-human intelligence.
Yeah.
Like this is nothing anymore.
I will tell you one thing, that a lot of this disclosure that came out this week was because Barney Frank, who used to be a congressman, had a bunch of folders that he had put away. Mm-hmm. And when he passed away, the classification of that went away. So it was released, and the government was like, damn it. Now we gotta add this to our stuff.
So if you guys are looking to find this stuff, all right, the government portal is called Pursue, Pursue, and it was launched specifically for public access to these records, these videos, all that stuff. So if you guys want to go down that rabbit hole, go out there, check it out. We always encourage you guys to go down that rabbit hole and look for them.
Yeah, you can go to the war.gov //UAP, and they're all there. And if you think that that's not real, I have the original Magic 12 documents that I've downloaded off the dark web, and you can go page by page and match it. So I have the unredacted, sort of classified back in the day, but now they're out in the open. They were just one of those things that the government keeps. You know what I mean? It's not really classified. It's been declassified since the 90s, but they don't ever release it. And they were on the dark web, so I downloaded it. And then when the Department of War came out with their release, I went page by page, and it's the exact same document. So they really did release everything this time.
Nice. So some of the things that Bob and I have talked about in the past was, and actually on our very, very first podcast, we talked about the aliens in Peru that were attacking a small town,
Right.
the lizard people that floated and all that kind of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And it took a full year before someone actually went out and did an investigation on it.
Right.
So, and then we turn around and we've talked about Dulce Base before, which Dulce Base was at New Mexico area,
Yeah.
and it was basically like a hive,
Yeah.
right? So you had the smaller base up top, but then you had level after level of base underneath, where they broke into a cavern and had an actual firefight with lizard aliens.
Right.
Like, this is the survivor of that fight said the only reason why he survived is because one of the Delta operators threw him into the elevator.
Yeah.
And they solved that problem by dumping 1,000 tons of concrete down the hole until that level and the level above it filled with concrete.
Mm-hmm.
That's how they solved that problem.
Yeah. And
So
that guy, when he was doing his testimony, you could see that he's missing like parts of his hand, and he's got burns on his chest and everything. So he was not in a good place.
So something that's newly discussed actually is the Apollo 17 mission. They showed a triangle craft near the moon.
Yeah.
So this is some of the new stuff that's coming out there.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously critics say the images are artificial, or that's, common in space photography to find these weird objects. But if they're out there, they're out there,
Well,
if it's common.
These photos are film photos, though. You know what I mean? And you can see the negative and the three dots of the, TR-3B type aircraft are visible in the negative. So it's not like a modern thing. Like, it's easy for people on TikTok to be like, oh, they can just Photoshop it. Like, you can't Photoshop film. You can't Photoshop a negative. You know what I mean? That was exposed by light. It's not, back in the day, back in the 60s, you couldn't, just tweak stuff in the 70s, early 70s. You couldn't just take it into Lightroom and add a UFO in there,
Right. So in 2004, the USS Nimitz, that incident is one of the most famous military encounters. Radar tracked a craft coming in hot, high speed, quick, sudden movements. They call that, like the Navy calls it, their Roswell, right? The equivalent of their Roswell,
right.
Because it was so prolific.
Yeah.
And so many people saw it. But of course, everyone was told you didn't see a damn thing. But now that stuff's coming out.
Right.
So.
And the Nimitz actually locked onto it with their CIWS, anti-aircraft defense system. So it has multiple overlapping radar signatures to corroborate the speed that it was going, and the direction. So it's not like they just had their Alert 5 on where they were looking at the horizon and saw something moving. Like, they targeted it with multiple systems.
So there's also a lot of new whistleblowers coming forward that basically say, yes, something's going on at Area 51. Yes, we have biologicals at Area 51. Yes, we have aircraft at Area 51, and different black sites around the country. So we literally now have people in Congress coming forward and saying, yes, this stuff is real.
Yeah.
So it's amazing how much that the stuff that we always thought was out there, and we've always said, they're hiding it. They are. They legitimately are hiding this stuff.
Oh, yeah,
from
of
us.
course they are.
So, and I think a lot of it, too, is something we've talked about a lot, too, is if this gets out to a point, like if this would have came out, say, 40 years ago, 50 years ago, like, people would have freaked out. Now, I think we are so desensitized with movies and media and everything that people are like, oh, okay, aliens.
Right.
But then here's the big thing is even though it's out there, it's not out there. Like mainstream media is not jumping on this and being like,
No.
hey, look, the government is this, government is that,
Well, because they'd have to admit they've been calling us fruits for the last, 20 years.
Right.
Like, these people are crazy. Like, and then the government's like, yeah, no, they really aren't. Like, oh, well, all right then.
Right. Oh. So now the question is, how much is the government actually going to put out there? How much are they actually going to give us?
Well, one of the things that I took away from the trial that I was actually absolutely astounded. If anybody inside of the UFO community has, the Skinny Bob videos of the interrogation of the alien, and it has the little light that flickers every time it's like projecting its thoughts or whatever, that's real. They admitted that is an actual alien biologic that they are interviewing in that video.
That's wild.
So you can look up the Skinny Bob video and realize that that's not a puppet. It's not that is an actual alien that's being interviewed in that video.
That is so wild. that is one of the most controversial videos that's out there that everybody's like, oh, that's fake, that's fake, that's fake.
Right, because the video is from the 90s, and it's a VHS video, and the way it's filmed is it's inside of a room that's looking through what they call one-way mirrors,
Mm-hmm.
So the camera is in the room, the alien is in the other room. You're looking through the one-way mirror, and you can see the reflection of the camera in the one-way mirror looking at the alien biologic who's sitting on the tape behind the table. There's a person between you and him, and then there's the little LED bouncy light thing that
Right.
is in the middle, and it looks like multi-million-dollar Hollywood type thing, but you can tell that it's a VHS recorder. So if let's say you were making a movie and you had like Stan Winston or one of those special effects people make you a puppet of this quality, for several $1 million, you wouldn't record it with, an RCA VHS camcorder.
Right. You'd want it to look good.
Right. You'd be recording it with your, 16:9, high-end Panaflex camera, and then make it look in post like a VHS camera, you know what I'm saying? But you wouldn't record it like that.
So there's a lot of talk, too, about the ancient astronaut theory now because of this. That we were visited a long time ago, that a lot of the ancient writings and stuff that people are like, oh, well, this shows a light bulb. Oh, this shows a guy with a helmet, and so on and so forth. So now people are reanalyzing a lot of this older stuff and taking a harder look at it, going, wait a minute, if you guys are finally saying this is true, maybe we need to rethink us saying, oh, this is not an alien, or this is not
right,
something coming down, or this is not a craft, in like old hieroglyphics and pictures on caves and that kind of stuff.
Or the hieroglyphic picture of a Black Hawk helicopter.
Right.
So like like thousands of years ago, some dude carved a Black Hawk helicopter into a stone temple in Egypt.
Which may mean that we need to rewrite our history, which is a big thing. Because they want to push back on anything that we have to rewrite our past.
Right.
They want to push back on it so hard.
Yeah.
And that's just a big...
Well, because if you think about it, like a lot of these theories that they've put up over the years are based on things that we prove wrong, but then they hold on to it because of nostalgia.
Right. So
it's kind of like you need to have like a 0 day, where you can say, okay, all that's gone. From this day forward, we're having a new mythos, right? Because all of that has been proven and disproven. So we have to put all of that we thought we knew about the Egyptians and Pumapunku and the Mayans and all of that stuff. It's all wrong. So now we need to be scientists for once and say, no, we're not going to do that anymore.
Right. Well, then this pushes on religion, too.
Right.
Because we're the religious people of the past. Were they aliens, or, were they maybe chosen by the aliens or whatever?
Yeah, right.
So that also pushes into that. So this is more all-consuming than
Right.
most people even realize, of them just saying, oh, this is this is that. This could literally rewrite everything.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it could get into the point, or were we seated here? Because
Yeah.
there's that big gap in the theory of man evolution. There's that big gap where
Right.
we went from one extreme to the other, and we're like, all of a sudden, Homo sapiens go from, the big jump. So,
Yeah. 5,000-year leap.
yeah. So it's crazy, guys. And, a lot of what we're saying too is the technology. Is it a
Yeah.
way that they could catch up now in technology? Say, oh yeah, we had this. Now we can start doing this, this, and this. Because a lot of what holds us back technology-wise is literally, it's not really the government, it's money. Money holds us back. Like, a lot of people, and we've talked about this before, people who discover great things go missing,
Oh, yeah. Right.
right? Because that would cause a shift in the global economy.
Right.
So they just disappear. And I found out like a few months ago, I think it was anything that's more than 20 or 30% efficient is classified as secret. So if you come out and you build an engine that's like more than 30% efficient, the government takes away, it's automatically classified as secret.
Right.
So it's a lot of the global economy, and it would take them out of power. So is this a way for our government to go, hey, look at all this stuff that we, that we got from the aliens now, and we could do this or we could do that. But then that gives them the opportunity to control it and control the release of it.
And, well, if you look at a thing that evolved, right, like airplanes evolved over time, right? But there is no predecessor for night vision. You know what I mean? Like that was just, the night vision tube was just there. Like there's no lead up to that. You know what I mean? There's no science before night vision tubes. Like it was
Right.
it was here, and then going forward they've improved, but there was no like small gains going up to it.
Well,
like,
let's not talk about the first night vision.
yeah, like the old the Vietnam Starlight scopes.
Yeah. So, actually, let's go ahead and get into that since you brought it up. So the original version of night vision was red.
Yeah.
It was not green. It was not gray like you see now. It was red. And the problem they had with it is people were seeing things.
Yeah.
We mean like
Into another dimension.
basically into another dimension is what that's our theory. They would see things flying next to the helicopters. They would
dragons
see
and demons and
all kinds of things. So we
Weird.
think that they touched on something, and now you cannot find those anywhere. You cannot buy those
No.
anywhere. They are gone.
They've all
The
been
chemical
destroyed.
that they use to coat the lenses,
Yeah.
you can't get that anywhere. Like they've all been gotten rid of. So, I mean, is this another step that they, like I said, can come out and show us new stuff? So, so here we are. Now we got to walk back out to the fringe again because we're no longer fringe. So we
Right.
got to walk out back to the edge of the
Right.
cliff and look over once again down into the depths of the unknown. So, guys, thank you for joining us on the podcast this week. Thank you for joining us on the Government Disclosure podcast.
yeah.
We appreciate each and every one of you. Don't forget, guys, our partnership with Dubby right here. Boop. If you like a cleaner energy drink, Dubby is the way to go.
Yeah.
If you use the keyword Whole Truth, all one word, gets you 10% off.
Mm-hmm.
Check us out on all the other socials, the Book of Faces and the Insta and all that kind of stuff, because we have a really good following on the Insta.
Yeah. The comments on the Instagram are actually
Are fantastic.
better than the
Oh, yeah.
comments on the YouTubes.
So yeah, go check us on Insta. You'll get into a lot more debates and stuff. So, and go down the rabbit hole. Go look up what the government's putting out there. We encourage you guys to come up with your own theories. We don't want to push anything on anyone. Come up with your own theories, guys. Discord. Come check us out on Discord, the Real Veritas Project on Discord. Come chat with us. Also, if you want to become a Patreon member, it doesn't cost anything to become a Patreon member. We put your name at the end of the podcast on the very first slide.
Yep.
If you want to become a $5 member, we do postcards every month. You get a postcard signed by Bob and myself. Angie writes you a nice note and send that out to you.
And also, whenever I get a discount from Dubby or one of our partners, I always put it out on the Patreon. So, like this week, they doubled our discount
to 20%.
To 20%. So
there you go.
I put it out there. So anybody that used the Whole Truth discount last week you got 20% off instead of 10. How about that?
There you go. Let's see. Discord page. And if you want some merch, go to Printify, the Real Veritas Project, and that is also one of the first slides at the end. If you want to get that website, go check out the merch. Whatever the postcard is for the month, that's the T-shirt of the month.
Yeah.
So, and then once that month is over, that T-shirt goes away, never to be able to be bought again. So, if you want some merch to promote us, we appreciate that. Show us your support.
Yeah. And if there's something that you want, just message us and we'll add it to the store. Because we just added the stuff that we thought would sell good. So if you want a water bottle, or you want yoga pants, or you want a towel, or
shoot us
whatever.
an email or a message.
Yeah.
If you have a paranormal story, either message Bob on TT or shoot us an email at therealveritassproject@gmail.com. Tell us your story. We want to hear it. We want to sit down, and we're not going to poo-poo on your parade. We are not those people. We will sit down and we'll go, ooh, maybe this was this. Maybe this was that.
Right.
We will absolutely break it down, go through your story, and see what we can figure out, But get as detailed as you could possibly get with it and send it our way. Because Bob and I have seen too many things in our paranormal life cycle.
Oh, yeah.
That we have seen so much stuff.
Right.
Right. And we have pictures of so much stuff.
Right.
I am yet to see a major UFO. We've both seen Bigfoot. We've seen so many ghosts. It's not even funny. We've seen shadow figures. So anything you've seen, we want to know about it because we can't wait to see it too.
Yeah.
Just saying. So, I mean, we debunk, but we believe. Right.
Right.
So, thank you guys for all the support and following us on TT and YouTube. And if you're joining us today for the first time on TT, make sure you follow Bob, and also make sure you follow me down here because we do put out a little bit different content. Thank you once again for joining us on behalf of Bob, Angie, Robin, and myself. We appreciate you guys coming into the podcast. And remember,
stay curious
and find the truth. And we'll catch you guys next time. Bye, everybody.
See ya.